Hey everybody, welcome back to the For Long Haul podcast. This is Blaine sitting alongside,
Brandon,
and this is going to be Before the Long Haul. Skip the 5 minutes in to get to the main topic. All right, what's up, Brandon?
not too much. You said you had something to talk about this time.
Yeah, I have an Android. I have a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Uh, Pretty little green color. You can't really see it because I
Wait,
have
it's
a clear
green.
case on. Yeah, it's green.
Oh,
Oh damn, you can kind of see it.
this entire time I thought it was like
There you
a
go. Can you
gray
kinda
color.
see? It's like an olive color.
Oh,
Yeah, it's if you're not really looking at it, you could easily see that. The new update, they've added AI to our phones. They already have it on the S24. So, excuse
I
me.
think I remember hearing a little bit about this.
So yeah, they have AI on here now to where we can utilize it. It's almost like ChatGPT in some instances where I could use like text and alter my grammar or translation and stuff like that, which is really cool. There's a feature where I can use that I can like circle something that's on the screen and like find it. So let's say if I go to like a photo and here's a bottle of wine that we were getting like last night, I can hold the button down here and then I can circle it. See if I can do this backwards, and then it will find me. It's not the best looking here, but bottles of wine
Hmm.
and of that product. And so instead of if we have a similar technology to that beforehand, which is just have a screenshot, use Google Lens, but this is way more intuitive and faster. But really, what I wanted to mention too is the fact that you can build wallpapers for your phone using AI, just like how you can use. I think ChatGPT is the premium version that does AI picture building. There's other ones that do it too. But I made this morning. I didn't even know I was just looking around my phone this morning, and then I saw this. Yep. So like I made this cool looking graphic with AI this morning, and this is an art style that I'm not really familiar with,
Hmm.
and so yeah, and you can make a bunch of different ones. You can say like, I want you to make me a realistic looking beach with orange hues, and it has like the boxes that you fill in words, it's not like you make a whole prompt. You have like the bones and fill in the blanks in a couple spots. So that's really cool. Interesting thing that's happened on here. I actually have that too. Where you can do it with the phone calls, where you can actually have a live translation, and you can talk, and it will auto translate what you said to another language, and to the other side of the phone call. I haven't used that feature at all because I don't. There's no one I talk to like that does that, but that's really cool.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's the and recent thing I was just thinking about that. That's my little bit.
Yeah, because I remember hearing about that, but now let me get to mine. My thing real fast is okay. Okay, whenever you have a job that requires you to have like a uniform and all that,
Mhm.
do you need a change the second you get home, or you're not going to be productive at all?
It's been a long time since I've had to wear a uniform,
Or
but
like,
when I think about it, I am constantly getting home and that leaves. So I take off those clothes, I get on something different because yeah, I guess if I come home and if I don't immediately take those clothes off, that means I'm gonna like sit on the couch and be like, oh, I'm exhausted. I'm still wearing them and doing nothing.
because I've realized this uh sometime in like the first 3 months of this year. I realized that if I don't change out of my work clothes when I get home, like
Mhm.
unless my work clothes is like jeans and a t-shirt, or like
Yes.
something I'll wear,
Unless it's practically street clothes.
yeah, or like I if I don't change out of them, I if I don't change out of them probably within 30 minutes, I probably will not be productive until I get the willpower to change out of them. Because whenever I worked at the movie theater, all I really did was just change my t-shirt and I was good because it was like
Mhm.
jeans I could wear. Or
Yep.
whenever I had my photo editing job, most of the times it was just like regular clothes, or just like a little nicer looking clothes. So I
Mhm.
didn't like mind not changing out of those. But like if it's a uniform or any kind, I need a change. Like with probably within 30 minutes of me getting home, or I would not do anything. I don't know if it was just a
Yeah.
meeting or if you also the same way. Because like I realized this year, and I was like, hey, no wonder sometimes I don't do anything when I'm supposed to when I
I
get
think I
home.
feel that, like I was saying, because if I think back on it, wearing a uniform or having the set clothes, unless it was like a street clothes practically,
Yeah.
that meant unless I changed my clothes, my behavior was ultimately me not doing anything. Because if I didn't come home and immediately change, that means I'm still wearing my clothes and I just like melt into the couch or something. because I'm exhausted and I want to relax for a moment
Yep,
or
but
however long or watch something.
yep, but anyway, you guys, welcome back to another episode of For the Long Haul podcast. Like always, I'm Brandon alongside.
Blaine.
All right, and today I thought about this while listening to a podcast, and honestly, I need to write down more stuff I think of when listening to podcasts because there was like five other stuff that this episode made me think of that I forgot to write down, and I'm
Hmm.
trying to remember what they were for like topics and all that. But this one was not from a podcast. This was from me just thinking about stuff, and that I wanted to see what Blaine thought and what everybody else thought. But buying and reading self-help books will not help you. Like buying and reading from to do to done. No, wait, hold on, I messed that up.
You
Buying
did.
from to do to done will not help you if you buy it and read it. Or buying this one from a YouTuber that I watch every now and then. Feel good productivity.
I've seen that guy.
Now, here's the thing, Brandon. You bought these books. Why did you buy them if you think this? Because okay, I feel like everybody gets into the trap of if I buy Atomic Habits, if I buy From To Do to Done. What's another one, Blaine? That's really popular.
Oh
From
boy,
which Rich Dad Poor Dad.
that's a good one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you buy those kinds of books and like read them, those will not help you because I feel like people think just reading them will not help you. Just like reading
Will
them,
help them.
yeah, will help them. Or like listening to us. Just listening to us will not help you because I think people don't do because that's like half of it. The other half is implementing what the people are telling you or what you're reading. Like if you can listen to us about how you guys can improve your health, your financial habits, all that kind of stuff, your like studying habits, all that stuff. If you listen to us but you don't do what we recommend or what we have done to improve it ourselves, or maybe do the stuff that we recommend or have hold of, that's not because you're only doing half of it. You're listening, you're not taking action, you're not doing it.
Yeah, and that the action's a more important part. I think it's when I think about this because I've bought some things that were like self help book related,
Yeah.
but it's been a long time since I've purchased something like that, and I believe because it just came to me all of a sudden. I was just thinking about like why, like what's the feeling? It's like I can buy this and it will fix my problems. So it's like this is an immediate solution. Buy a book about fixing it. And it's really more the fact that you are like, this is gonna help me out. And buying it and you're feeling more of that is like the answer versus actually having the intent to legit try to even use it or even read it in the first place.
Yeah, because like I feel like people get into the false like getting thinking like just like reading buying it and reading it is gonna be the key. That's half the key. You're turning it like halfway. I feel like you
Hmm.
need to do the actions of what the book says
Yeah.
or what the people you're listening to are talking about in order to turn the key the rest of the way.
It's not even turning key like the halfway.
But
Like,
that's the only like
here, I
metaphor I
got it.
guess I could think of.
I'll take it. We're gonna use the key thing though. Like you're turning the key, putting it into the ignition, and you're clicking it to where the electricity turns on. Only the first click in the car, not even like the other stuff like AC and headlights. You're only just the first little click. So you're like sparked it, and not sparked it in terms of starting it. You just like turn the electricity on, and all the just the minor functions are just going right now. But you actually reading the book and implementing it, that's the other 90%. Because driving a car without starting it, you can't use the car. And so you've just turned it on and like the battery's good and like there's a little power. You still need to turn the key the other 90%, start the ignition, and start the car all the way before you have a vehicle that you can drive down the road.
Okay, I will agree with you that is 100% a better metaphor than what I said, but I feel like yours is getting a little outdated.
Yeah, what we got electric cars, we got push to start, whatever.
I was thinking push a start, but like, no, everybody's still, I think everybody was still understand what you're saying, but that is getting a
Yeah.
little outdated. When you were saying it, I was like, oh my god, this is getting outdated now.
I'm not push to start yet, and I don't care. And honestly, I don't know if I want to be push to start.
I mean, at some point in the future, you probably will be whenever you get your car, because you're not gonna have that truck for 30 more years.
No, yeah, I'm gonna have to replace it at some point. I will say the coolest part, without getting too far into this, about push to start. I love the fact that you can have your keys in your pocket and never take them out.
Oh no,
That
yeah,
is the thing that, like, for me, like completely sells it ultimately. Taking the keys out, starting your car, like it's like, hey, I started my car, and especially if your car makes noises, it feels good. But at the end of the day, though, the fact that you could it automates your life even more simplistically to make even less decisions than we maybe need to already, to where you never even have to take your keys out of your pocket. I think that's pretty incredible.
Now I will say, like, somebody that went from like toning the key, putting the key and then to the ignition and toning it all the way to having this push start. It does take like maybe a week to get used to because it's just out of force of habit. You can be like, oh wait, no, I don't need to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely good. It'll take me some time for sure. I'll get used to it probably not too long though. I'll be like, hey, this is cool. Don't take the keys out. And then
Yeah.
it'll go. But as we were saying, where were we at here?
We're talking about like how you need to not just read the books but also implement what they're telling you to do.
It's 90% or greater. That's like
Yeah.
when I like Gary Vee a lot, and I haven't consumed his stuff as much as I used to. And but he pretty much talks about like he's like I give away my secrets, and he's like there's really no secret, but like I give away what you would typically someone would call a secret. Like this is what you would do to succeed in this industry. And he's like I literally give it away. You want to know why? I can just give it away because I know 99% of you won't even use it. He's like, I want you all to use it, but I know you're not going to. So, like, me giving this information away will not hurt me at all. Maybe it'll help someone, which is my goal. I'd like to help someone, but at the end of the day, it can't hurt me because hardly anyone's going to utilize this information. So it's not capable of even hindering me in any way.
Now I see this is from I'm probably still gonna mispronounce his name. Ali Abadulan.
It's definitely not Abdullah. It's Abdal or something.
Abadal. Anyway, I watch his videos every now and then. Cause he used to be a former med student at I think it was Oxford. I think it was a university in England, one of
That's
the most
cool.
prestige ones. And like he went from being a doctor and all that to
Just being a YouTube guy.
being a YouTuber, like having his own business about like helping people become more productive. I think he has like a little YouTube academy too, or did. I don't know if he still does.
He
But
probably still
anyway, like
does.
me reading like his feel good productivity and how to make like being productive and all that more like be like more enjoyable, like more fun to like
Mm-hmm.
that way I can get more stuff done. Just having this and reading it isn't going to help me. I need to do what it says, or like use or like implement it in my own way, my own version of how to do it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
granted, I'm not that far in the book too, because I think I'm only at like page 10.
Ah, there you
Because I
go.
honestly haven't read this in
Uh,
about a week.
you
And
just
I
get
will
it.
not lie, sometimes like these books are a little more difficult to go to, but you need to go through them, especially if you buy them, so that way you can learn what those telling you to do and implement it in your own way.
Yeah, definitely don't buy them if you're not even gonna read them.
Yeah, honestly, I've had this for like. To be honest with you, I've had this for like. Okay, this is a problem with me. I've had this for like 2 years. I still haven't read it. That
Well,
because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have a backlog of probably 20 to 30 books I need to read. But
yeah,
this year,
I don't have that many.
I know I've said this every single year, but this year I swear I'm gonna get it done because right now I'm reading 2 books. I'm alternating between 2 books.
Oh, I'm
I'm
not doing that.
I'm reading this one and I'm also reading a Naruto book that was written by the creator of Naruto.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
It takes place during the Boruto era too.
Mhm.
Hold on,
Um,
hold on. If you guys watched our last little, not the one that was attached to this episode, but the one that was attached to like our quarterly update, around episode 200 in Boruto.
wait, hey, hold on a minute. I'm about to watch this. You're gonna
No, no,
mess
no,
me
no,
up
no,
here?
no, no. I was gonna tell you. If you don't feel anything, you don't have a heart.
Oh, okay. All right, then we'll just leave it alone. That's
If
it.
anybody, if
Don't go
anybody
any
knows what I'm
deeper than
talking
this.
about, you guys know what I'm talking about.
I
If you
haven't
guys have
seen it.
read it,
I would be very upset.
oh, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm just gonna
Um,
like, if you get
that's
to a certain
enough.
part and you
No
don't
further.
feel anything, I'm gonna question you
All right,
if you have heart.
that's enough. That's enough. I don't have a bunch of books I need to read, but I have a couple. I have 2 books by Neil deGrasse Tyson. One of them I bought by mistake because I bought the wrong one, but then I kept it. And then the second, this,
No, no. It's the fact that you bought Neil deGrasse Tyson books because he's a scientist. He's like more like physics, not quantum physics, but like science and physics
uh
in
huh.
general. So I wouldn't expect you to be like, oh, let me read his physics book and all that.
Well, I like his stuff. It's really cool.
I mean, no,
I'm
no,
really
no.
in. Here's the funny thing. I hated school and stuff, right? But I'm really into like science and like theories and stuff like that and like the universe and
Yeah.
things. And so shame I didn't like it as much back then. I guess I never really got into it because I probably would have ended up studying that kind of stuff and been in that career path, which may have been interesting, maybe boring as hell. I don't know. But this is the one that it's Cosmic Queries by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Hmm.
If you're watching the YouTube here, you can see me holding up the book, see what it looks like. That's a
Is that
question mark on the front that looks like nebulas and stars.
is that the one that we were talking about originally? Before
No,
like before we were like
no.
okay, what's the one that you told me you were reading?
So, first I think I wanted to say why I got this book. It's been a while since I've looked at this. But it's basically if you want to put it really short, and it says it on the front of the book, and it says it in the back in the middle of the summary. How did we get here? Are we alone? How do we know? That's not what it says. It says Star Talker's Guide to Who We Are, How We Got Here, and Where We're Going. And it really just talks about anything that revolves around that, which is not doing the best job of explaining it, but it's just like the concepts evolving around that and like how we maybe interact with each other. And then like you also flipping through here like natural selection, searching for intelligence, what is this? An astronomical distance ladder. I don't know what that is, but I was listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson a lot more. And I was getting his stuff recommended to me, and to him talking about some bits that he wrote about in this book, uh, and like how he delves into the topics greater was very interesting to me. And so I'm going to end up reading this book next. I recently started reading again because Victoria and I went to Barnes and Nobles because she was like, "I wanted to get a book," and I was like, "What? You want to go Barnes and Nobles?" And she was like,
Wait,
"Yeah."
what bug did she get?
Um,
Also, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you just fine. I don't know about
Okay,
how well you can hear me when I slide off like that, but
50-50. But what I want to say is, I should not be left alone in the Barnes and Nobles.
so this
Cause
is
like I saw like a half price bin, or like half price cards, and I grabbed like 7 or 8 books, and then I grabbed like two of the books off the shelves, and I was with our friend Jonathan, because like most of it was manga I think I had at the moment.
uh-huh.
I was like, Jay, punch me. He was like, what? Punch me. I shouldn't be buying all this. He's like, nah, you got this. He's like, treat yourself.
Well, he's a
Then
bad influence. Y'all both are.
I mean, yeah. Okay, okay. Here's the thing: we're both are bad influence to each other, but I also am a good influence on him, because I will sometimes be like, "No, Jay, no," or like, "Come on, let's go before you buy this."
Hmm.
But I was like debating with myself for like 5-10 minutes, and then I put all the books away, so I didn't buy anything that day. This was like 3 weeks ago, I think. But I didn't buy anything. But I should not be left alone, because like I would buy a bunch of books by accident. Because I think one time I went though, I bought a book about 2 books about the Roman Empire, a manga, and then I think a science book.
Okay.
Oh no, and then maybe 2 mystery novels too. I think.
Hmm.
See, okay, see, this is why I shouldn't be left alone at the Barnes and Nobles, because I almost anything can like spark my interest a little bit, and then 50-60 bucks down the drain, because I buy a bunch of books that add to my backlog that I honestly need to get through. I want to try to get through it this year.
All of it?
I want to at least take a big chunk out of it, because
You have like 60 books.
I've been saying this for the past 2 years, and it keeps on growing.
Mhm. Well, I don't have a tremendous backlog. I have some books that I have no intent on reading that I just got for free. Fun fact, I have a book signed by Tim Tebow because I worked at an event for my previous company where he came. It's a 1 year invitational. Invitational? I never used that word before. Mission Impossible. New York Times bestselling author Tim Tebow. But it's signed by Tim Tebow. And he was there, which was cool. But otherwise, so this is the book
Wait,
that
the football player?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That dude's big, man. I haven't seen him in person before. That's a big ass dude. He's not like big as in round. He's big as in that man is built thickly. He's
Uh,
got thick arms. He's got a thick neck.
6'3", 255.
Yeah, dude. He looks every bit of all of 255, but built. Man's he's he's built. So this is the book Victoria got. Since you're asking about that, it's called Never Lie by Frida McFadden. So I this is
Either I thought
fiction
about that one, either I thought
fiction book.
about that, or I thought about the author.
So yeah, there's that one. SIBO was just because it was laying there. I was gonna throw that shit over there. So this is the book. It's funny how you mentioned this. You mentioned something about quantum. So I'm writing. If you heard of, is it Michio Kaku? I remember how to say his name. It's been a while since I've looked at his video content. He's got a white hair. He's like an astrophysicist or something, or maybe that's Neil deGrasse Tyson is an astrophysicist. But this guy's some kind of scientist. He's a doctor or something in terms of his education, and but I like his stuff a lot because he deals a lot with like space and theories and other universes and multiple dimensions and things of that nature. So I saw this book. We went to Barnes and Nobles on one of the displays towards the front, like new books, and they're promoting them or something. And I was like, "Ooh, this looks cool." And I was like, "I love this dude." And the book is called Quantum Supremacy and how the quantum computer revolution will change everything is what it says on the front of the book. And so I'm reading this right now. I am not super far into it, but I'm about maybe an eighth or sixth. I'm at page 50. So, and there is 300, about 300 pages to read. So I did a pretty good approximation there.
1/6.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. And reading that book, I think I'm going to read this book. I I may dive me to hit cosmic queries next, but if it doesn't, I'm gonna get Marcus Aurelius Meditations next and read that.
Now I gotta ask, how many times do you have to read that? How many times do you have to read that book before like you understand like some of the stuff? As
Uh,
of right now,
for quantum supremacy,
yeah.
not that much extra right now, although because I mean I love this stuff and I've already known about this stuff. Now the thing I don't understand right now is calculating the waves of probability. It just talks about it briefly just to give you an example, but like I don't know about how to do this. Start with the wave function, which looks like a pitchfork with an x in parentheses, which describes an electron located at the point x. Two is insert the wave into the Schrodinger's equation, which is h wave function equals I open parentheses h blah 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 like so, which is known as the Hamiltonian corresponds to the energy of the systems. And then so like that's some stuff. You can even see this. I can't get close enough. Where's it at?
I can kind of make it out. I'll probably like
I
make it to
forget
where
it's
like
backwards though. But yeah, like that stuff. Oh no, I'm not. I don't know that stuff. I don't even know those symbols. I'm not gonna try to know how to do that. But everything up to that, I've understand it so far.
I thought of some of that stuff. I can't recall it that much though.
But it starts off. It starts off early on. It talks about how you know, we're going through like what computers are and how computers work essentially, and then different stuff. And it's like work and go at the beginning is mathematics complete, how mathematics has evolved, and what are how coding works essentially, and the importance of that in this whole landscape. The earliest computers, the advancement of technology, and to where we are now. What
I mean,
about like
depending on
atom?
some people, some people argue that one of the most older computers. I mean, the definition of computer, you could go back as far as ancient Greece. I think.
Oh yeah, they found one at the bottom of the sea somewhere,
Yeah. Okay. That's I can't remember what it's
and
called,
it's
but it's
full of gears and stuff, and it's
yeah.
like
Like I,
hundreds of gears. It's like over 100 gears.
it's I can't remember what it's called, but that's like what it considered probably one of the most oldest computers and all that. Like found into the sea. It's during ancient Greek times.
Babbage?
I think. I think
Babbage?
so.
Babbage and the Difference Machine. I don't know. I've already read through that part already. Charles Babbage, who is visionary, okay, electric English inventor and visionary, father of the computer. I don't know if that was him. That I think they found the computer at a different point. I don't think that was him because that was the one that wasn't technically logged or anything. That badass one that Romans made or someone made that they lost at sea. Just like all the advancements that Romans have and like their ability just even to have like concrete that's stronger than the concrete we can even make it down that they
That
had
yeah.
forever. Still up. But that's just some examples there. But yeah, so to answer your question, I haven't had to read over it more than once to really understand it. I've maybe read a part or two just because I really liked the way something was worded and it like it said something to me. What is it? There's a saying for that. It resonated. It resonated with me to some extent. Um,
This is the thing. This
I
is the
didn't
thing
call
right
it.
there.
I don't know if I called it that.
Cause hold on. Cause this is what it looks like and all that. Like like that, like what's considered like the ancient analog computer of ancient Greece
Oh,
and all
and
that.
it showed a picture of that kind of how it was wheels and it wrote, or maybe that was something I ended up seeing in a YouTube short after I was reading this book.
Yeah,
But it's like there is little pictures in here and it's like it's circles. Oh, here it is. I think this is it right here. Oh yeah, that's exactly what you're showing me right now, and it's like a
yeah.
recreation of what it should look like in black and white here.
There we go.
2000, the Greeks created this NT Thera.
We don't know how to speak Greek. We don't know how to say it.
Yeah, it's not me. But so far, really enjoying the book. Really getting into right now. The chapter is called "The Rise of the Quantum," and they've recently just talked about how much more powerful a quantum computer is versus a regular computer. I don't know if you know any of those concepts.
The one thing I know mainly about it is like we got to keep them so cool because of how hot they get. I think
Well, I
because there's
mean,
a few quantum computers, but they're massive, and like you got to keep them cold if I remember correctly.
they take so much power currently,
Yeah.
and we're making innovations, but we're not even really. Basically when we first started making computers and they were cream colored, how they were. That's where we're at with quantum computers right now. There's no real good application for them yet, but essentially, so far, just barely what I've read at this point now. Well, they're so much more advanced in terms of being able to, do calculations and stuff like that because they're able to do a regular computer. You know how a quantum computer works in any sense?
Uh, Vaguely, I've read a little bit about them. It's been a while, but I
I put it
remember
really
reading about them.
rough. Is like a computer is 0 and 1 because I don't want to dive too deep in this. A computer is zeros and ones, off and on.
It's like
That's literally everything is
yeah,
ran by that, and it just gets more and more complex and with variables and everything else. A quantum computer is instead of 0 1, it's you could just use that same term, 0 and 1, and everything in between. And it's just like a state. It's like with atoms and stuff like that. Could be butchering it to some extent, but it talked about it just a little bit at the beginning of the book, and I've known just a little bit about it, but hardly anything. But essentially, because like an atom could be rotating 60%, clockwise, and then the other 40% counterclockwise, or everywhere in between. And I think that's an example I use in the book. And also with quantum mechanics and things, atoms can be in two places at once. So all of that, think about all that put together and how it could be instead of a 0 and 1, how it's exponentially more powerful with those I don't know how to say, like, indicators there, and how it can store information and process that information so much quicker. Instead of having to dig through thousands and billions and trillions of ones and zeros, it's like able to do it in a more advanced way. And so we haven't got to the point where we're able to apply it to commercial businesses and everything like that, or something that people are even going to be buying, especially not a consumer. And we're still getting through the sciencey bit of it, of advancing it. But once that goes through, one of the things it talked about is the ability for us to use it for medicine. We're going to be able to use it to run science experiments without even doing the experiment because we're going to be able to test if medicines will react to any gene in your body and alter any of your genomes, or how will these different elements react? Is there different chemical reactions that we have yet to discover, or maybe making another element by mixing a couple things, and we have yet to figure that out. It's going to be able to determine the different things that can be done with those elements and do the experiment with not even the necessary use of having like the lab and doing the experiment and having those that time associated with it and a larger cost to do that, especially the time consuming nature of how long it takes to advance like medicines and stuff like that and apply it. Like, okay, we're going to see if it affects any of the genes in rodents and see how long that takes to show some information there. It's going to be able to go through, I guess in theory, I don't know how much of that is like that's like a guarantee or what. I think that's a goal or what a vision maybe Michael Kaku's talking about, or uh Michu. I thought he would always say Michael whenever I was watching this video, so maybe I'm butchering that there, uh but that's one of the things he mentions in the book. It's gonna be that good at processing that. We could probably process that now, but it takes so long to do it. It makes more sense just to do it in person.
Mm. Hmm. Well, honestly, that was a twist that I wasn't expecting. Is you to be reading those books?
Mhm. Yeah, I was always into that sciencey stuff, at least for a little while, and especially like watching videos and things of shorts and whatnot about this kind of spacey stuff, which is it's always really interesting to me. And so yeah, I saw that book and I was like, oh, this is cool. I've recently been reading about our advancements that we've been making in quantum computers. Because you think about how AI and ChatGPT is working now, this is on a regular computer. If we're able to like put this on like a quantum computer, that's think about how incredible we think it is that we can ask AI write me a 15-page essay and it writes it in a quarter of a second on any subject we can
Are
imagine.
you saying combining the two?
I'm just saying,
Because
like,
I feel like if you're saying
not
combining the
combining, no.
two, that I feel like that's basically asking for Terminator to
No, no,
happen.
no, 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 not combining the 2. I mean, obviously, I'm talking about it would be working on the other program. I'm talking about, ChatGPT, like AI, generative AI is the right term here. How it works in a computer and how efficiently we think it works now is incredible, and it's just happened, and
Oh,
it's
you're talking about
already
how
taking over everything, making people's taking their voice, mimicking their voice with complete accuracy with only, like, 15 seconds of their voice. If they're a famous person, it's indistinguishable almost because there's so much of them online that are samples that it can use and take and learn for. From making pictures that look photorealistic, that looks like somebody took it from a camera, or if more detailed, or like just creating any images and text. And like I said, was like writing like an 18-page paper about why fried chicken is the best out of any food group. And it'll write you an 18-page paper in a quarter of a second and write the whole thing. And so, for example, that's running off of a regular computer right now. Imagine, and like what you said, this is like bad stuff, right? If this was on a quantum computer, it could run so fast and use everything so quickly. Like think about how quickly the advances are there. Like this is, and me reading this makes me think about this. I mean, it really spur the mind for that. But this is the next industrial revolution. We get quantum computers to work. This is going to change so much.
then if we can get like, because from what I understand of quantum computers, they'll like basically take up an entire room and all that because of how big they are and
Mhm.
all that. If I remember correctly, it's been a couple of years uh since I've looked at this, but like they're massive and
I don't know about the sizes of them. I have actually no idea. But that's the same way we started. That's exactly how we started with regular computers. A regular computer took up a whole room, and uh, and then we're making supercomputers. Even the supercomputers and stuff we have now are not even on the same chart compared to the capacity of a quantum computer when we're able to get it
no, yeah, no,
going.
but once that happens, it will revolutionize the world.
It's
Probably be
going
like one of
to
the
change so
next
much.
great leaps in technology and another. Basically, it'll basically have an effect of, I guess you could say, have the effect of a industrial evolution or computer evolution to our generation.
Just like the great Web 3.0 or whatever, like 2000 and going to the web and stuff like that, how that was game changing. I mean, this is going to be just like that. Once it's able to become more like commercially available, and even that, if we're able to have it within the government and actually get to a point towards usable in different applications, if we actually use it, getting more and more technologies. The problem with like us not this is kind of almost jumping a subject here, but Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about this. It's like the worst thing that we're no longer going to space. We don't spend any money hardly on our space budget at all. The worst thing about it is it's preventing us from evolving more technologies. We got so many technologies from us having the space race with what was it, Russia or a
It
couple
was
other
it was
countries,
during the Cold War. It was mainly Russia. A couple of
and
other countries have gone to space, but it
yeah.
was mainly us and Russia because it was during the space race, which takes place during the Cold War and all that.
I can't remember all the things that were mentioned, but he has a little short where he talks about everything that we got, and it's baffling the amount of technologies we developed because we were trying to innovate for the space race, like going to space. So us innovating to do more things with space will develop more technologies for us, at least in our current state. And one of the things I do remember, though, I'm pretty sure was the microwave. We got the microwave by accident while trying to get to space.
I mean, some of the stuff we've got in history has been completed by accident,
Oh yeah.
like penicillin.
Mhm.
But hold on, I'm actually trying to see if I can find an article that talks about some of the tech we've built
But
because of that.
there's more stuff, but essentially there's a lot of like items that we invented and
Air
things.
purifiers is one of them. like help with food safety, apparently cordless power tools,
Ah,
and
yeah, he mentioned
GPS.
that. GPS, that was another one too. We use the GPS all the time. No, that's not to say we wouldn't invent it later, but just those things that you mentioned now, course, power tools, GPS, and microwaves. That's is so heavily everywhere as is right now. They're building all the homes that everyone's going to live in from here into whenever. They're using cordless power tools.
Hmm. Yep. But you got anything else to say, buddy? Because I'm I'm uh I'm good.
I mean, that's pretty much it for me. So yeah, this is why I like this kind of stuff because it spurs the mind. I think it's very
Yeah.
interesting, and but yeah, but I like it. I'd recommend reading the book. I haven't even got that far into it, but if
Mm.
you're into that kind of stuff, you'd like it.
And yep. But anyway, you guys, don't forget if you guys get any self help books, that's what maybe 50, 20% you would say. Doing the action is the rest of the
It's
percentage.
90% at least minimum. Is
What?
90% is needing to do the
No,
action.
no, no, no. I was saying like buying the book is like what,
Maybe 10% at the
10,
most.
20
10%
maybe?
is buying the book. It's honestly, it's less than that. It's real damn easy to say, "I'm gonna do it." That's a 0.5%. The other 99.5% is doing it. And so, like, that's what I feel about it.
Yeah, like, but that's a part of it. The rest of it, and to actually see the results, is
Yeah.
doing the actions that they talk about, or maybe taking them, but
Yeah.
you'll find it.
Yeah, doing it. You gotta do it.
Yep. All right, Blaine. Oops, wrong one, wrong one, wrong one. All right. What can they find us at?
All right, you guys come check us out on. I was about to say YouTube. We're gonna start with Instagram like we're supposed to.
Okay.
So come check us out on Instagram at Fort Long Haul Podcast on Instagram. If you guys want to shoot us an email, you can send us an email at ftlhpodcast@gmail.com. Just like for the long haul, ftlhpodcast@gmail.com. Now, also, we are on where any podcasters or podcasts so you can wherever that is, Spotify, yada yada, and I mean every place has got every music place has got their own podcasting. So Apple, whatever, Amazon, blah blah blah.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah, there you go. That's so wherever podcasts are podcasts, and so you can check us out there. Now we show some stuff on video based on what we're doing, sometimes more than others, but. If you want to just just see us have something on TV or B see what we're talking about visually, you can check us on YouTube at For Long Haul Podcast.
Yep. Until next time, you guys have a good one, and remember to take the action.
Take the action. Absolutely. See you guys later.